This is Up the Rovers.
Welcome along to episode 4 of Up the Rovers, the official Featherstone Rovers podcast. Welcome along. My name's Darren Harper. Thanks very much for joining us and downloading once again. Now, do remember, if you are listening to this on YouTube, make sure you follow all of this on Spotify and Apple Podcast, because that's where we're going to be here for the first season of Up the Rovers, episode 4 of 10, brought to you by LS11 Media and Proper Sport. And don't forget, of course, of our main club partners here at Featherstone Rovers: KP, Millennium Support, Went Valley Aggregates and Wakefield AFC. Big thanks to them and their support. And we've got two fantastic guests for you once again here on Up the Rovers. We are joined by the Players' Player of the Year from 2019. It is, of course, Brad Day. Hello, Brad. How are you doing?
Evening. Great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Also joining us, someone who joined from Batley Bulldogs ahead of the 2019 season. Yes, it's James Harrison. James, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Excited to be on. Looking forward to it.
Quite excited. We're going to be talking about a number of different things. The comeback of Brad Day, of course, that shirt. We'll also talk about get some fans' questions in as well. So there's plenty to come. Looking ahead to, of course, the Challenge Cup, which is just around the corner as we get into 2021. That's all on the way on the Up the Rovers podcast.
Up the Rovers, the official Featherstone Rovers podcast.
Yes, welcome along to Up the Rovers, and let's get stuck in, because it's been so nice to actually see some competitive rugby league over the last couple of weeks, even though it's been friendlies. But I suppose if I come to you first of all, Brad, because it's been so long, what did it actually feel like to be playing a proper game of rugby league again?
Yeah, it's been very strange. I think it was 18 months since my last game. Obviously, we've played a bit in training and whatnot, but obviously when we played Oldham, it was still a bit surreal because obviously there were no fans there. Obviously, you know, we normally get a decent crowd down at Post Office Road. So it was just a bit surreal. I know in 2019 we did a bit like a training match against Huddersfield, so it sort of felt similar to that. But then obviously when first contacts got involved and whatever else, you know, you knew you were in a game then with how hard everybody were going.
I can imagine it would be. James, did you have a similar sort of experience? What were your thoughts? But you played a little bit at the end of last season when you were over at the Rhinos, but obviously being back, and it was a long time off, really.
Yeah, it were really strange coming back. I remember like the day before the game, I'm more excited about just being in change room with the lads. You know, like we've been so long for everyone, about 12 months since all lads last played. So I was excited to just be on with all the other boys.
Yeah, it's been a long time out. How did you cope? When I spoke to Chisel Chips and you, I was asking them about how they coped during lockdown. James, how did you cope during the lockdown? Obviously, we'll talk about the Rhinos bit in a bit, but what were you doing to sort of like just keep yourself amused during lockdown? Did you complete Netflix?
Yeah, completed all the Netflix series, Tiger King and stuff like that. But, I found a good training partner, training with Hoops, because obviously we didn't know if the season would get restarted, so we're doing loads of training together and just trying to keep ourselves fit just in case we restart. And then as longer the year went on and we were a bit unsure to what were happening, it was sometimes hard to find motivation to do some training, but we got through it. And yeah, I think the hardest part was just like being on your own and stuff. But obviously I got home with my girlfriend and we got a dog down, so that were all right. But like I said about training with Coops and stuff, it's good to get out and see another face.
Yeah, I can imagine when you're getting back to training. What about you, Brad? What lockdown was a bit different for you because you're coming off the back of a very long-term injury. So, what was that?
Yeah,
Was it a good time for lockdown for you in one respect?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I didn't miss much game time, which is a great thing in an ACL injury. I think it was 5 or 6 games. Whereas the only downside really was I didn't have that hands-on treatment. What you'd normally get. But I had great support off Greg and some of the lead staff as well, who did some of my rehab with me, and they were always, we were always sending videos back and forth to adapt to training and see where I was sort of at the best way we could.
And what generally the pre-season has been like? Because obviously we talked about, you finally getting out onto the field again, even though there's no crowds there at the moment. But I would imagine just that first few minutes of just being out on the field must have been just an exceptional feeling, James.
Yeah, it was really good. Like so much training, but you can't replicate like the game and the fitness in the games and stuff. But going back to the start of pre-season, like Greg looked after us and Webber, we didn't get flogged too bad. I think until Christmas it was going pretty steady. I mean, after Christmas and we got back into training, it started ramping up. And I think the past month now the games have started, really ramped up, and the intensity is creeping up each week. And we're all excited for the game to start this week.
And Brad, your injury, I mean, it was, obviously a devastating injury at the time, but what I'm wondering, because when you sort of like hear about footballers, they're sort of like taken away from the normal squad to sort of like recuperate. What was that whole recuperation like for you? I'd imagine it's pretty tough when you go through something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit lonely, to be honest. But when it happened in 2019, when we came back for the 2020 season, there were a number of lads who had gone through operations or, had a few niggles and things like that. So there were actually quite a few people in the rehab group, which made it a bit easier, to be honest. Somebody to socialise with when the lads are on field and you're just stuck in cold gym. I'm pretty sure people have told you about how cold it can be in Barn in winter. It's actually colder inside than it is outside. So yeah, it's good to have a few people around you, get music going, and speak to other people going through similar things to you with their injuries and seeing how they're coping with things, physically and mentally as well. So yeah, we're good. It wasn't too bad. It could have been worse.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I'm wondering as well. But I've spoken to Greg on the show, and he's a bit of a hard taskmaster, I hear. But he did a lot of work with you with your rehab.
Yeah, Greg's been outstanding. To be fair to him, he's not. He hasn't got a physio background. He's S&C, but if you don't know anything, he'll Google it, and he loves his YouTube and whatever else. So sometimes you think, God, he's got me doing some mad exercises here, but there is a bit of madness behind his thinking. And he's, like I said, he's tried his best for me, and he's done a good job.
No, that's good. And obviously I joked about sort of like completing Netflix with James, but what other things did you do during lockdown? It's not all about keeping fit. What other things did you do during lockdown, Brad? Did you watch Married at First Sight Australia? I'm
so invested in that.
Oh my God!
I got so invested.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was finishing work, and then me and my partner were straight on it. Every night we just got I loved it.
Have you watched all of it now? Have you seen all of that season?
Yeah.
Oh, that Jess, how awful she.
I could not believe the stuff what were going on behind people's backs and they didn't know. And then it was kicking off at dinner parties and all sorts, wasn't it?
Jesus, it's just one of the greatest shows of all time. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, great TV.
Yeah, fantastic TV.
Mushes your brain, but it's great.
Yeah, it's perfect lockdown TV because it's complete traction.
Yeah,
it's perfect. James, did you hop on the Married at First Sight Australia bus?
No, but I think I'm one of the only lads in the team who went. I've heard Hardy, Lockie, Brad, they're all getting invested in it. So I think, so from my partner watches it, so I think might get a catch up. No, Brad's been telling me to for a few weeks, but I haven't got into it yet.
You've missed out. You've missed out. What was the TV of choice in the Harrison household?
Oh, well, most recently we probably watched like The Masked Singer. We're really into that.
Yeah.
That's like Lockdown 3, not like Lockdown 1, but yeah, Masked Singer are really invested in that.
And do you have to watch Coronation Street every single episode?
No, we don't. To be honest, we shouldn't tell Rachel, Sophie's sister, that. But no, we don't watch it. So I've watched the episodes we're in, but no, I'm not a soap man, to be honest with you.
We should say that your other half's sister is in Coronation Street. So
yeah,
but yeah, obviously you keep up to date with Coronation Street and you're watching it every single episode, obviously.
Oh, I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Not sure. Brad, are you a soap opera fan? Are you more EastEnders than you are Corrie, or are you Emmerdale?
No, to be honest, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'd rather just watch a crap series on Netflix and mush my brain while I can chill out and sit on my phone.
That's Hollyoaks for Brad. That's what we're understanding from that. Then it's Hollyoaks for Brad. James, we've spoken about Brad sort of like coming back. I wanted to chat you about your time at Leeds Rhinos, because I randomly I was chatting to a Leeds Rhinos fan today, and I said, I'm going to be chatting to James Harrington a little bit later on Featherstone Rovers, and he's like, I wish he was still with us. So he was. I think you did yourself a huge amount of favours while you were being there, and obviously really impressed. What was it like, the whole experience of being within that sort of like Super League setup?
You know, it was really strange at first. Like, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to play Super League, and when Webber will give me a call and ask like the opportunity is going to be there for me. I was really excited. But I remember like the first few sessions, I walked in and like, obviously I knew all the players, like, all the nicknames and stuff like, what do I call them? You know, stuff like that. It's a really strange situation, but I enjoyed being full time. You know, like my only focus was playing rugby. It was great. And good to get a few games. I think it took 6 weeks for me in full training to get a game, and I think I got better as more games I played. So a really good experience for me.
I can imagine it will be, and it's only going to do you good coming back into the championship and into this season. I would imagine having that experience from that full-time experience you've had at the Rhinos, I would imagine. Yeah,
well, I got a taste for playing Super League. I just don't think anything better than, I was getting promotion this year and I'll play Super League with each other next year. So that's the ultimate goal for all the lads in our team, and so like we're going to like train really hard and do everything we can to achieve that.
And Brad, the Rhinos had a little bit to do with your recuperation as well. I mean, Greg obviously did some fantastic stuff with you, but the Rhinos really stepped in as well.
Yeah, they did. It's lucky that we've got that partnership and good friendship with them, really, higher up. And yeah, they took me on board and did a few physio sessions with me every week, which were good. So to start with, I started in the new year 2020, and it was just meant to be like on a week basis. So I think I was going down on every Tuesday, and then they realised, if they wanted to sort of push me on, that that they were more than willing to take me on twice a week. So I used to go every Tuesday, Thursday, and get my session off there, and then they'd give me a programme to work away from there as well for when I were at Fev. So yeah, to be honest, they've done a great job. It was really nice what they did. Obviously, they're not the club what I play for, so they didn't have to do that. But yeah, it was really good of them.
Yeah, I can imagine. And coming back into this season, obviously we've got a couple of games under the belt now. There's a feeling, and that this feeling has been with Fev maybe for the last couple of years. There's something really big on the horizon for Featherstone Rovers, and yes, they've sort of like missed out on getting that sort of like automatic place into Super League that went to Lee. In the end, but there's just been a feeling around Fev, and you look at the sort of players that are around you at the moment, and you just must have a lot of positivity about it. Come to you first, James. There just there's a feeling around Fev at the moment. Do you find that?
Yeah, definitely. I think the people above, like Mark and Steve Gould, have recruited really, really well, and they've put some money and maybe taken a risk. And I think we see that in training, like the amount of good players around, and like I think if you could ask like any fan or even any of our lads, like what team's going to be for against Bradford this Sunday, I think everybody's going to be different. You know, there's going to be some great players missing out each week, but I think, like I said before, like the last training's been really intense. Like everybody's fighting for a spot. I know it's a bit cliche saying that, but it really is. Everyone's like competing really hard with each other, and it's only going to be better for us on, you know, not necessarily on the end days. I think it's going to be a really exciting season.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an exciting season. Brad, what do you think about that? Just that feeling that's around Fev at the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely a buzz there, and like I was saying then, the quality we've got in this squad is great. It's like every time we're training and we're managing to do team on team things which you don't often get to do. So it's like 13 on 13, and you're playing against quality players opposite you and things like that. So it's always going to get the best out of you. And drive the best out of you to make the team better ultimately. So everybody should be excited around the club, and so they are.
Yeah, I'm getting very excited as well. We're going to be talking about the Challenge Cup. We're going to be talking about 2021 as well as the season. Don't forget, of course, 2021 #unfinished business memberships are still on sale. Those who purchase the 2021 memberships will be able to watch all the home league games that are streamed on our league absolutely free of charge. So make sure you get onto the website and buy your #unfinished business 2021 memberships.
This is Up the Rovers.
Episode 4 of Up the Rovers podcast, and we're with Brad Day and James Harrison. We've got some fans' questions coming up. We're going to be looking ahead to the 2021 season, of course, and that Challenge Cup. But before we go anywhere further, Brad, let's talk about shirts. There's one particular shirt that got ripped off, and I think at that point, ovaries across West Yorkshire exploded. So let's talk a little bit about that. Can you quite believe that that's gone down in almost in history? I think really that shirt being ripped off.
Yeah, it's crazy what happened in it, and then for me to get what were it, a 20-metre restart, and I've still got no top on, and then referee had to stop the game to manage to get me another top. Our lass loved it. She thinks it's great. Every time RFL repost it, what did they say? Their meme, when you're trying to leave work on a Friday early and you're there trying to get off, strip off and get straight to the bar. So, yeah, I think it made a few people happy dinner.
I think you did. Have you still got that shirt? Is that sort of like, you should have that sort of like hung up in a frame somewhere, I think now.
No, it got thrown into the crowd. And there were actually a picture going around on social media, one of Fed fans. He had it ripped up. I think it was Mick he's called, I think. And he was so happy with it. And then a couple of weeks later, he see me and he says, I think his mum had tried to put it back together. And he's like, "What are you doing? I wanted it like that. It was original. It was perfect. Yeah, how it was." So, yeah.
James, what was the reaction from the rest of the squad when that happened to Brad, and he was obviously showing the guns?
Well, I think I remember that we were really alone when I was sat on the bench at the time and just all laughing and just see traps, just loads of traps in his neck. but like I can't believe the ref didn't stop the game earlier. But like, Joanna commentator above screaming. But yeah, I think someone told me the other week they're getting that photo blown up in the bar upstairs, so he's going to be there forever with his top off. So it's famous in there forever.
Look at that, Steve Brad immortalised. That's got to happen. That's got to happen. Superb. That does happen.
I got some stick for it afterwards.
Did you?
Yeah. Even at work.
No.
Even at work. Yeah. People were watching it at work and like YouTube and whatever. And yeah, I got some hammer.
Oh dear, you don't need any stick for that. I think it's a seminal moment in rugby league. I think no, you should feel very proud of that. Very proud of that indeed. Let's talk a little bit about Challenge Cup, of course, because pre-seasons is done now. We're finished with that. That's finished. But it's Bradford Bulls in the Challenge Cup this weekend. What's been training like? Now you've come over out of those a few games. I would imagine coming out of those games, James, maybe a little bit sore because it's the first time proper playing after such a long time out. Have you you're a bit more sore after like the last couple of weeks?
Well, last week after the Oldham game, yeah, but luckily I didn't get about this, so I've been going to training this week quite fresh. I'm not sure how the other lads will be feeling. I know there's a few lads played 80 minutes in both games, so I think they'll be feeling a bit more sore than me. But last night Tuesday it was really intense again, and with a bit of preview on Bradford, what they're going to throw at us, and we're all really excited for the game and ready to get stuck in and get faced with it.
Yeah, it should be an absolute cracker. Brad, how's the sort of like the body holding up after such a long time out and your first time out in pre-season? How's the body holding up?
Yeah, to be fair, it's doing all right. Well, on Monday, I thought, you know what, I'm doing all right after the game. I'm not too bad. I started lifting some weights and I'm like, I'm a bit sore here. I think I'll go a bit lighter on weight there. So I think I underestimated it a bit. But yeah, I'm feeling good now. And I'll be fine for the weekend.
Fine for the weekend. Well, that's fantastic news. And stay with you, Brad. The Bradford Bulls, obviously, it's going to be a fantastic match, and we'll give details about how you're going to be able to watch that very shortly. But the Bulls is always going to be like there's always a bit of feistiness, I think, between Bradford and Fev. So I think it'll be it's going to be quite an interesting clash, I think. But you can never sort of underestimate them.
No, definitely not. And I think John Key is giving him a bit of a rocket after the friendly against Keighley, so that they'll be, keen as to get into us. And they're always really physical, Bradford. They're a big pack, and that's where they try and dominate you and try and be physical and try and intimidate you. So we just obviously need to step up, and obviously that's what I think we'll do. Everybody's excited for this week, really excited to be back playing. Obviously, most of the lads haven't played for properly, competitively for the year, so everybody's hungry to play, and you can see that in training and how people are switch on and applying themselves.
Yeah, and talking about sort of like the players that are sort of like in and around training at the moment. Obviously, there's a few familiar faces that we've seen over the last couple of years, but there's a few new faces as well that have come into the squad. James, how have they fitted in? There's some big names in there, like New Brown, obviously in there as well. How are the new guys sort of fitted in ahead of pre-season and the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, they've all fitted in really well. They're all good blokes. There's no, as you say, idiots that's come into the group. So, we've had some real qualities, like Junior Moores, and obviously New's come over from Australia. He's not played in a few years, but he's going to be good, in a few months' time. I think you've got to give him a few months to get back to where he was the other year. But, I've been really impressed with Frankie Halter in training. He's been really good, and he's been really good in the two friends as well. So I think the fans should be excited about Frankie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I think, it's just. I think we talked a little bit about how exciting it is at the moment, but they're just, the talent right across that squad is amazing, and it's as we get into this centenary year, does that put any more sort of like? Do you feel any more pressure because of like the centenary year? And I know, James, you're a big Leeds United fan, so there was obviously there was a bit of pressure on Leeds United in their centenary season to do something quite special. Do you guys feel the same sort of pressure to do something special in the centenary season? James, come to you first.
It's not been spoke about within the group, but you see stuff on social media, and so like for the fans probably expect something more. So like we've got to bear that in mind. So it'd be like what better way to like celebrate the 100 years of Featherstone Rovers promoted. So we're all ready to do that, hopefully.
Yeah, let's fingers crossed. What about you, Brad? Do you sort of get enthralled in all that sort of stuff that sort of goes off around the club and off the field, or is it just you just sort of focused on that pitch? Keep my shirt on.
Yeah, just try and keep that shirt on. Yeah, no, like Cairo said, it would be great. 100 years at club and first time they get into Super League. If we can do that, that'd be something really special. And even with 1895 Cup and Challenge Cup and things like that, if we can push further in that'd be also great. What a story it'd be.
It would be an amazing story, definitely, no doubt about that. I do want to ask you as well, and I did this when we had New Brown and we had Chisel Chips on, was like, and they didn't let that much go about sort of like maybe initiations and things that happen when new players sort of come into the fold. I'm wondering, James, when you first got to the club, was there anything that you had to do? Was there anything you were asked to do or forced to do?
Brad knows exactly what's coming. We had to do a Christmas do. We had to do a bit of a sing-song karaoke in the jungle. I went with Wonderwall, got all the lads singing. I think Brad should explain how his went.
Okay, Brad, tell me a little bit more. So karaoke, what you had to sing? Wonderwall.
I sung Wonderwall.
No, I also sang Wonderwall, and I thought I was being a bit clever because I'm not really much of a karaoke singer or a singer at all. And I pitched PJ and Junk and Let's Get Ready to Rumble because I thought it'd be very simple with lyrics. Now it went on for a lot longer than I thought it would. I forgot about the rap in the middle, and then when I thought the song had finished, I went to go in mic drop. Pretending kind of thing, and then another verse came up. So yeah, I've never lived that down, to be honest, between lads.
Oh right, so PJ and Duncan. Okay, so is that would that be a go-to one for you forever now at karaoke?
No, well, it was funny because in 2019 you used to play it before the game, so every time we were warming up, it always seemed to be on. So there'd always be a few looks and a few comments my way from lads cracking jokes and whatever else.
It seems unfair that we shouldn't at least try and get you.
Let's get ready.
Oh yes.
Okay, here we go. Come on,
come on.
You can do it. I wouldn't do it to you. But I can always queue up Wonderwall for you, James, if you're up for it.
No, I think I had 20 beers. We're gonna have some Wonderwall, so I'm only on water tonight, so I don't think that'll be happening.
Karaoke is always easier after a few liquid.
There were a few good ones. Last year. We played London away last year. We had a good drink on the way back and all. Well, it was supposed to start with all the new lads having a bit of a sing-song, but it turned out everybody had to do a song. So there were some good ones, really good ones last year.
Is there anybody in that dressing room then that when they get on the mic, you're like, whoa, Michael Bublé? Is there anybody that's actually a really good singer?
Craig Hall. He sung Moana. Do you know the Disney musical? He sung "You're Welcome." Do you know one of the rock sings?
Yeah,
unbelievable,
Really?
Word for word, rapping, everything. Coops thinks he's a good singer. He sings "Walking in Memphis." Yeah. Like any chance he gets, he'll sing that. And he's good, but I don't want to give him too much credit. But there were a few good. Tom Allroyd, we had from Undulator from Leeds. He were really good last year. Surprisingly, all the lads were a bit shocked, but I think there's a few secret singers about. Blackie tries to be a bit like a gypsy MC, so he gets all bad boy Chiller Crew stuff.
Chiller Crew. Brilliant. That's good. This sounds very interesting now. I think almost we need to get like a compilation album going and release it. Maybe.
I think we should. If we get promotion, I think there should be a centenary promotion sing song. Yeah, definitely.
You're going first, Ira.
I'll go first. Yeah, I think hopefully all fans are all back into Clubhouse and can have a bit of a event.
Oh my God! You heard it here first.
I regret that.
Senior year, and then James Harrison will be performing Wonderwall. Brad Day will be doing Let's Get Ready to Rumble. With all of you out just doing different songs. This is going to be an amazing night. Christ, I want to be there now. This
expensive tickets.
Yeah, we'll have to sell tickets. Obviously, you'll definitely sell tickets for it. This is going to be great. So if you're up for coming along to watching that, tweet at Fev Rovers that you want to come, and we'll make sure that this happens. This is the Up the Rovers podcast. Still to come, we've got some fans' questions. We're going to talk a little bit more about 2021 as well. And of course, don't forget the Challenge Cup against Bradford Bulls. The next fixture is available on the BBC iPlayer, BBC Sport, and the BBC Red Button on Sunday, the 21st of March, and that's a 3 p.m. kickoff. So BBC Red Button, BBC iPlayer, and BBC Sports website as well. You'll be able to catch the Rovers' next fixture against Bradford Bulls.
You're listening to the Up the Rovers podcast.
We're with Brad Day and James Harrison on episode 4 of the Up the Rovers podcast. Thanks very much for joining us. But we did actually put a little shout out for some questions for some fans earlier on this week, and you've done very, very well. And well, let's go first of all, and we're going to read a question out from Amanda Walker. So we'll go to James with this one. She's interested to know how James felt being picked to play for Leeds and what he feels the main differences are playing at Fev and Leeds.
You know, we're real honoured to get the opportunity. You know, Webbo gave me a call maybe a month to 6 weeks before it actually happened, said that there could be an opportunity there, and it all went quiet for a month, so I wasn't really sure what happened. I spoke to Kevin Sinfield, and he got me in, and I started about 2 weeks later, and it was a really good experience, and I'll be forever grateful to Webbo, Richard Agar, and Kevin Sinfield for giving me the opportunity to play for Leeds Rhinos, and I achieved my boyhood Super League. So, and talking about the differences, I think the main difference I noticed at first was the intensity in training, but like I mentioned before, recently, the last 6 weeks, our training's been really intense, and it's been on par with what it was like last year. So I think we're up to Leeds Rhino standard, in quality wise, but intensity wise, we're definitely going to be level on par soon, I think.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, James. Okay, next one is for Brad from Chloe Bullers, who says, what's something that has helped Brad through his recovery and to get him back into training?
Okay.
I know what she's going to want me to say. To be fair, she's been by my side through it all, and I've had a good support network. I put on my post on Instagram. I've had good group of mates, people who wanted the best for me, and to keep me active, especially when I first had me up and I had a brace on and crutches and stuff like that. Obviously, I was homebound quite often, but some of my friends came and picked me up and take me for a coffee and take me training and whatever else. So socially, it was great. I still managed to get out and see people, and I had coaching staff and medical staff who were willing to push me and steer me in right direction and always be supportive through it all. So I had the right people around me, so it helps a lot.
Yeah, we should maybe say that you do know Chloe quite well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. She's in the next room.
There we go. You definitely knew her quite well. That's fair enough. Okay, now so we've got some questions for both of you. These come from Bantam Pete, which I think James knows who Bantam Pete is. So best buddies Brad and James have played together over 5 years at Batley and Fev. What have they learned from each other? Let's go to you, James, first of all. What have you learned from each other?
Does it have to be rugby related? Because I've learned you can't drink.
No.
Oh, I'm going to use
Rugby related. You can be anything.
Oh, what have I learned from it? Oh God. Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, we've had I think we've had a few good nights together, me and Brad, a few good trips away. So I've learned and stuff like that, which I don't think can be shared, but rugby related. Rugby related. I've seen how hard like trains is probably the hardest trainer in the team. He's always in like the gym till he's always the last person in the gym and stuff like that. He's always pushing himself on the field, so that's good.
What about you, Brad? What have you learned off James?
Yeah, like Iro said, we've had a few good times together and life experiences, shall we say? But yeah, on rugby field and stuff like that, he's always there when you need him. He's always doing those 1%ers. Sometimes what the people don't see off the field, but if I've got him as my 5-man or working inside me, I always know he's going to be there for me. And I really appreciate the stuff what he does for the team as well.
See, they're very nice answers. Very nice answers.
I'm sure.
Okay, where we're going to ask you this. Another one from Bantam Pete. He's asked a fair few questions here. Where do you see yourselves in 2 or 3 years' time? So where do you see yourselves, Brad? Where do you see yourself in 2 or 3 years' time? What's the big Brad Day plan thing?
I'd like to be in Super League, to be honest. And obviously, we're pushing with Fev, so hopefully that'll be the case. That'll be the ideal scenario.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I'd imagine, James, after you've had a sniff of Super League, you just want Super League back, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I got a taste for it last year, and to get back there. So, like Brad said, hopefully it's with Fev, and we've got a great chance to do that this season.
Yeah, no, definitely. So another good answer from both of you there, really. Final one from Bantam Pete. What quality do they admire the most in how your buddy plays rugby? So, Brad, what quality do you admire the most in how James plays rugby?
Shout out there. Yeah, like I said before, he won't take a backward step, and he's always there doing the things what people don't see and tracking back. And sometimes you won't notice stuff from a prop and a forward what he does, just the little things around the field and stuff like that. So yeah, I do admire that, and I think over years that I played with him, he just got better and better, and I think that proved when he went to Leeds as well. He got that opportunity and he took it.
James, what about you?
Brad's probably one of the strongest. He's one of the strongest in the team in the gym and stuff like that, and he's probably one of the toughest players I've played with. And I think last 2 full seasons he's played at his last season at Batley and Featherstone top player. I think that says a lot when you're getting that voted twice. It's probably the most prestigious award to win as a player for all your own teammates to pick you. So, yeah, I think he's a player's player. So I think all the lads love having him next to us on the field.
I like it. It's like it's a proper loving from you two, isn't it? Really.
Well, we got told to keep it clean, so
yeah. We need to be nice though.
Fair enough. We should say as well, Bantam Pete is effectively who will be your father-in-law, James. Is what I'm saying here.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the situation.
Yeah, that's right. I've got one more question that came in from a Tom Holmes, and he asked, "What's this about you two selling dodgy goods?" Let's go to Brad Day and tell me more about what this is all about.
To be fair, I don't really know how I got brought into it, but that photo is brilliant. Photo Holmes is done. So basically, I had some discounted. Well, there were a guy at work who had some discounted goods. Right, so everybody knows rugby players are tight, and we're all tight Yorkshiremen, aren't we? So, yeah, I put it in the WhatsApp group saying if anyone was interested, not being pushy, anything like that. As soon as I put it in, and then I think Copy asked for a price, I told him, and then that were it. Holmesy straight on it, fake, blah blah blah, this that, the old boy, don't trust him, cracking jokes and whatever else, and then he did that photo, and it's stuck ever since. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so you're the go-to man. All you need is either the Robin Reliant or a Capri gear, and then you're sorted. Then, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm sorry for Mad Monday's dress. Fancy dress.
That's right. Yeah, that'd be a really good one. Yeah, James, you're very tall. You could do a very good Rodney. I'm thinking.
Well, funny story. I actually dressed up as Rodney once and about the Mad Monday. There we are. So there we are, 2016 in Blackpool. Yeah, Rodney Trotter. So
it's already
somehow I was just found out, and then like it's got out there, isn't it? So
brilliant.
Might have to make a reappearance this year.
This is already sorted out. I'm looking forward to this already. This is brilliant. So, listen, thank you very much for all of your questions that you sent in. Just to sort of wrap up, obviously, 2021 season, we've mentioned that it's a huge season for the club and the players. There's a great squad. But your thoughts, just to sort of wrap up on what your hopes and what your expectations are for this season. James, you first of all.
No, we believe as a group with the squad we've got and the quality that we should be up there, fighting at the top of the league and pushing towards promotion. And like it's gonna be weird at first with like no fans, especially like the games against like Bradford this week. It's gonna be like it's two vocal set of supporters. It's gonna be strange with no fans there, but we're hoping fans can get back mid like summer to push us on towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it would be nice getting some fans back in, Brad, because it must feel really weird. But I've been at some Bradford City games when there's no fans in this season, and it is very strange. You're not hearing anything. I did hear on that Tommy's still playing like the goal music, the goal music and the try music.
Yeah,
there's something that's sort of like not like a bit of normality.
Yeah, it adds a bit of character to the game, and there's been a few Feb fans back at terraces who have been up fence, and they've been cheering and shouting some abuse, which makes the game, doesn't it? So it's been good to have them as well. But yeah, it is strange when you can hear coaches shouting things on pitch and benches and whatever else. Obviously, normally you don't normally get to hear that.
Yeah, there's no hiding place now, really, is there? No hiding place. But just finally then, Brad, again, sort of an expectation, because there is this chance, I think, that Featherstone could make it to Super League this year. And I would imagine that's obviously got to be the main target, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody at the club believes it, and that's how it should be. Like we said before through podcasts, we've got a great squad, quality across. We've got plenty of depth, so we just need to keep hungry and keeping striving and trying to get better every training session and every game. And if we do that, hopefully by end of season, we'll be thereabouts and hopefully get promoted.
Well, get promoted, obviously. That would be great. Super League. And then, obviously, the karaoke charity night in the Legends Lounge, which I can't wait for, personally.
That's the main thing.
I think so, yeah. I think that's more important than Super.
Well, definitely.
I think quite right. Listen, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Really, really enjoyed having a good old chat with you. And so, good luck for the rest of the season. Keep your shirt on, Brad. And obviously, just thanks very much and good luck for everything that happens with Featherstone Rovers this season. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It's episode 4 of the Up the Rovers podcast. Now, don't forget, of course, if you do listen to this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The 2021 #Unfinished Business memberships are still on sale. And if you purchase those memberships, you will be able to watch all the home league games that are streamed on our league for absolutely free. The next fixture is on the BBC iPlayer, of course, the Challenge Cup against Bradford Bulls, BBC Sport and BBC Red Button. That's this Sunday, 21st of March, with a 3 p.m. kickoff. Big thanks, of course, to the producers of this podcast, LS11 Media and Proper Sport. And a massive thank you, of course, to our main club partners, the KP, Millennium Support, Went Valley Aggregates and Wakefield AFC. And we'll be back for more of Up the Rovers podcast very shortly with episode 5. Thanks very much for downloading.
You're listening to the Up the Rovers podcast.